We're in.
All right. We already got people in here talking about this, so this matters to somebody, I can tell you that. Coach Darius Green in there with us right
What's
now.
up, Coach? How are you, man?
I love it, man. Coach Green is with us all the time. We're gonna give his Lakeside folks a shout. He said the 838 is the SEC of 3A football. That's what he just said. So he said adding Helena to an already stacked conference. There's a lot going on, a lot of movement happening, and
Yep,
we felt like that we'd come on here and talk about it. And when you think you're done with football, it just kind of keeps on giving, right? And
does.
here we are, given a chance to talk a little bit about conference realignment. And man, there's some definite interesting stuff. I'll say that there's some interesting stuff that's going along with this conference movement, and I have seen more like rationale from the AAA on why they did what they did or how it worked out than any other time that I've seen that. Yeah, if you put that
You
up there,
changed my L3s.
I had to right, had to change that. But anyway, you're not Sean Caldwell.
I am not.
I think actually you're not
Yeah,
Brad Caldwell, right? Anyway,
fix that.
Justin's over here trying to work on my stuff that I. But we got stuff going on all the time. By the way, if you haven't seen it, you're a Razorback fan. Go check out the new podcast that we've got with my cousin Sean Caldwell. He is a local football
There we
coach
go.
here, breaking down what's going on with the Razorbacks, and that's on YouTube right now. And that's called The Angle. I think we have a pattern going on here. We got the Audible and the Angle, and who knows what else that we can come up with between now and then. It has two words, and one starts with, or the first one is the, right?
Yeah, we're not very bright. I'm just kidding.
By the way, did you get that charger on this computer? Because if
I
not,
did. It's in the bag, or
okay.
it
Oh,
might
is that it?
be this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's get that on here because
you
I
might
will
need it.
not be able to follow the comments. The battery, I changed this battery out about, I don't know, it's been a year or so ago, but you would think it'd get more battery life, but it doesn't have that much. So anyway, we'll get it taken care of here. But anyway, we're talking conference football here, conference realignment everywhere, and I'm going to give you just a few of my takes, and Coach Green's already given a few of his takes already. So uh, he's got a strong take, and we've got some maps. I really found that interesting more than anything else. I've never seen it before. Maybe they do it. I just haven't paid attention, possibly. But they send out maps of how they split the conferences up, and I thought that was interesting.
I've never seen it before either.
Sorry. Here we go. Now we're set. So anyway, I'm going to get this pulled up here.
Oh, that looks good.
You got the map up there?
Yeah,
Which one is that one?
this is 2A.
That's 2A. All right. You sure about that?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. 2A. Interesting with 2A there. I mean, I think what you'll see with these maps, and Justin's about to put that map up on the screen with 2A, is I feel like, I mean, if you look at it, and I have never felt like, well, the AAA takes one team that's out of whack here. I mean, they do what they can. One of the things about it is that it's pretty spread out.
yeah,
Arkansas is, and it's not like you've got. In fact, I found it interesting when I would go to Texas, especially as a younger person, and you would cross like from one city to the next, and the only thing that would be there would be a sign.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I, as a young kid, I wasn't used to that one because you know you get on the interstate like here where we're at, and you've got 4 or 5 miles to the next town. That's actually pretty close.
Yeah.
Um, you can get on the interstate and it'd be 10 miles to the next town or 15. Whereas in other places it's right there. So that's number one. That's a hard way or a way of looking at how they have to kind of spread this out. And then you think about, well, like again, we're in the Russellville area right now. And if you go west on the interstate, if you're just talking high schools here, you got Russellville. The next high school is where? Clarksville,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, Russellville and Clarksville don't play each other, so you got to go on past that. Well, what's the next one? Ozark. Well, you got to go past that before you really find a school of any size that Russellville actually plays. And so you have that dynamic in this right here where you're having to split up schools. And you can see on this 2A map that's up right now, look how spread out it is. But when you look at how they pair these things up, um, like Mountainburg is paired up here, but you start getting into, well, they're paired up with like Mountain Pine. It's a long way. Mount Ida,
Yeah.
it's a long way. But when you look at how they're paired up, you see, well, there's a reason why they're paired up that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's interesting to me that they release maps. I've never seen this happen before, where they would release maps and just again just put out a rationale saying, here's why we're doing it. You know what I mean? Do you agree, disagree?
Oh
What
yeah,
are your
yeah,
thoughts? What are your
yeah.
thoughts there?
Oh, so I'm looking at the map.
I
I'm
gotcha.
trying. It makes sense how they got them grouped. It's just I'm seeing that just where the location of the 2A programs that
Right.
still have football, like none north of us in the mountains.
So
You have
let's talk about what
Hector.
right,
That's it. Hector is as
right.
far north as it gets,
There
maybe.
used to be one in Decatur. I don't even think they play football now, not even 8 man. I know that they tried 8 man. Maybe they do. I need well, let me look here. I can tell you. 8 man, 8 man, 8 man, 8 man. There's 20 schools in 8 man, which actually there's 21. Murfreesboro, that was a big one too. Murfreesboro declared for 8 man, and I just got that news last night. I don't know how long it's been. They're not even listed in this. So now the 2A3 has lost Murfreesboro, and the 2A3 now is Dirks, Foreman, Gurdon, Junction City, Mineral Springs, and Spring Hill.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's their conference there. Murfreesboro goes to 8 man, which was big. 2A1, the changes in 2A1. You've got Conway Christian Magazine, JC Westside. They're now out of the 2A1. Hackett falls into the 2A1 now.
what?
Yep, yep. And Magnet Cove is now in the 2A1. Iser County back to 8 man, so they move out in the 2A2. And Clarendon moves to the 2A2, which, gosh, congratulations to anybody who has to move to the 2A2. Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard.
My goodness. What have you
Um,
won, Coach?
right. Lafayette County, another team that went to 8 man. They're out, and that's all as far as 2A3. Now we just mentioned that Murfreesboro is out as well, and then Clarendon's out of the 2A4, and Episcopal drops into the 2A4 now. So they dropped from 3A to 2A, which will help them some. They
Will.
need some help in being competitive. And I know that they started. Man, who was it that they named as head football coach just the other day? Um, Goodness, there's so much information out there about high school sports now. It's kind of like drinking from a fire hose. 2A1, Bigelow, Hackett, Hector, Magnet Cove, Mount Ida, Mountain Pine, and Mountain Berg.
That's probably the most spread out.
They're out.
They make a big loop there. Yeah,
2A2, Clarendon, Cross County, Des Arc, Earl, East Poinsett County, Lee County, Mark Tree, and McCrory. That doesn't change, except for Clarendon moving in. Dirks, Foreman, Gurdon, Junction City. This is 2A3, by the way. Murfreesboro and Spring Hill. I'm sorry, Mineral Springs and Spring Hill. Murfreesboro drops. And the 2A4, Baptist Prep, Bearden, Carlisle, England, Episcopal, Hampton, Hazen, Poen, which that's other than Episcopal, that is your 2A there.
man.
So interesting. Now, let's move on to 3A here, and we'll talk about Coach Green's uh, Lakeside or Lakeside. Is it? No, it's not Rams. Beavers. There we go.
They're
I just usually I'm pretty good about that off the top of my head, and I just went blank on that for a second. All right, let's look here in the 3A. Again, new rationales. New in the 3A, you got Riverview, Helena West Helena, Conway Christian, Cossatot River, and Marshall, which
oh
Marshall,
wow.
yeah, Marshall up into 11, man. Out of 3A, Boonville goes to 4A, Episcopal to 2A, Mayflower to 4A, Magnet Cove to 2A, Falk to 4A, I believe,
No. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Falcon.
Hackett
Yeah,
to
you're right.
2A. So, and then Um, looking at your comparison to 3A1, Boonville's out, Paris is in the 3A1. Atkins, Episcopal and Mayflower out of the 3A2. Marshall, Newport, and Riverview are in the 3A2. 3A3, Newport is out. Palestine Wheatley is in. 3A4, Magnet Cove is uh, Magnet Cove is in. No, they're out. Paris
Yeah.
is out. Conway Christian is in. Atkins is in the 3A4. Falk, which Atkins got lucky there. They were actually, I thought they were about to move to the 4A. I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
I think they may be the top, like the biggest 3A school, which is crazy because they were having enrollment issues not too long ago.
Yes, they were. Which is not, I think the big positive for them is they went to the 4 day.
Hector was also right there. In fact, I was surprised to see Hector stayed in 2A because of that. They're both in the 4 day week,
Of course,
and
I'm glad Hector's still 2A because Hector's been in 2A program for as long as I can remember,
well,
and
you
they're
know,
they're just they're a familiar face there for me.
if they're if they had moved up, just like Atkins, if they had moved up, they'd had a little bit of trouble competing
Yeah.
in the 4A and the 3A
Oh
for
yeah, yeah.
Hector. Let's see here. In the 3A7, Falk is out, Costantad is in, and then Palestine Wheatley's out of 3A8. Helena West Helena is in. And 3A1 consists of Cedarville, Charleston, Greenland, Lavaca, Mansfield, Paris, and West Fork. No
Ooh,
Boonville.
good luck, Paris.
No Boonville. Paris is probably okay in that conference. I mean, Mansfield and Charleston are still your big dogs in that, which that's traditional powers there. I'll tell you, Paris has got an opening, by the way, and I think the right coach in at Paris would I think could really do some damage there.
Yeah,
I don't know I don't know about the conference right now because it seems like Mansfield's got the thing rolling right now, and then
yeah,
Charleston's always good. But man, you get into the playoffs. I mean, look, Boonville got into the playoffs as a 3 out of that conference. They made it
yeah.
to the semifinals. Paris has got some tradition,
Oh
so
yeah, they do.
whoever is
And they had a pretty good season last year. They
they
really
did,
did. It wasn't
they
a bad
did.
year. Yeah.
I don't know exactly where there are some. I know there used to be some real good athletes come out of Paris.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know.
My younger sister, her uncle was a running back for him back in
I,
the
I
day, and
just
he could ball.
I just don't know if they're all going there now like they used to. I'm not totally sure. But anyway,
Well, with Subiaco being 8 man now,
they're
that's
not now.
the Subi they
We'll
moved.
talk about that.
Oh goodness.
We'll talk about that. 3A2 Marshall, Melbourne, Mountain View, Newport, Quitman, Riverview, Salem, Yeovil, Summit. To me, that looks more what the 3A2 should look like. Getting Mayflower out of there, getting Atkins out of there. To me, is I think Atkins belongs more toward the River Valley. Mayflower's moving up, but having them two in the 3A2, I felt like was kind of weird. But again, when you look at the maps, you see how it all can work out from year to year.
Yeah,
3A3, Harrisburg, Hoxie, Manila, Osceola, Palestine, Wheatley, Pickett, Rivercrest, and Walnut Ridge. I mean, there's not a big change there except for Palestine, Wheatley, and that's not a big deal there. Atkins, Conway, Christian, Cutter, Morningstar, Danville, Glenrose, Jesseville, Perryville, and Two Rivers. I'm going to tell you right now, Danville is coming back. They're going to be pretty good coming up very soon. I think Atkins has got some good things rolling. Conway Christian moving up into the 3A is tough, but I think also kind of looking at their conference there, they can compete. To me, that's a kind of an even. Glen Rose right now is above everybody else, but outside of that, I think that's kind of an even conference there at 3A4. Bismarck, Camden, Harmony Grove, which I can't believe they put that on there. I know that they don't want that. Harmony Grove, Washita County, by the way. Center Point, Cossatot River, Horatio, Parker's Chapel, Prescott, and Smackover. That's the 3A7. And then 3A8, you got Barton, Drew Central, Dumas, Fordyce, Helena West, Helena Central, Lake Village, McGee, and Rising. That is a tough conference.
yeah, it is.
That's a tough conference. Any comments right now? Anybody talking right now?
Mm-mm, not that I
Nobody
can see.
talking? Nobody on
No,
YouTube
just
talking?
coach.
Man,
Yeah, yeah. Where's Joe at? I mean, Blaze, where you been, buddy? Normally you're first in, man.
one of our members there. He's joined up with us. All right, let's talk. Let's put the 4A map up there.
I'm sorry. 4A.
I think as these conferences get bigger, it's actually easier to split up. It just seems that way.
Boy. Yeah, that's 4A.
Yeah,
Map you sent me.
yeah.
Holy.
You see that map there? You've got the top of the left. There's 4A1. You've got the 4A4 is the blue down toward the river valley. Um, you've got the 4A2 is more of that central Arkansas area.
Oh,
The 4A3 is the northeast, the green. So the central Arkansas area, the orange is 4A2. The blue is 4A7 and the gray is 4A8. That's the way it looks right there. And looking at the rationale on that one, you've got Hope, Boonville, Mayflower, Falk, Subiaco Academy, and Watson Chapel in the 4A now, which Watson Chapel moved down. Cave City, which they're 8-man. Dardanelle, Hall, Mills, Riverview, and Helena, West Helena. Dardanelle goes to 5A. Hall, I assume I believe they do. Is that right? Let me see here. Out of 4A. So, yeah, they've got a mistake here, I believe. Am I looking at that right? No, maybe I guess I am. I'm missing it. Anyway, Dardanelle, Hall, Mills, Riverview, Helena, West Helena. Mills and Dardanelle are going to 5A, which Nashville I thought was going to 5A. That on the initial look on the
yeah.
numbers, I thought Nashville was going to 5A. All right, and just again looking at rationale, 4A1 is same as the 24-26 look there. 4A2, Forest City, Hall, Mills, and Riverview are all out. Bauxite, Clinton, Mayflower, Harmony Grove are all in, which changes the look of that 4A2 quite a bit.
Yeah, it does. Big time.
Bald Knob, Bauxite, CAC, Clinton, Haskell, Harmony Grove, Heber, Lone Oak, and Mayflower. That conference got a lot tougher.
Yeah, it did.
A lot
Man.
tougher. 4A3, Blytheville, Forest City, Gosnell, Highland, West Side, Pocahontas, South Side, Charter. That was another one. South Side I thought might move to 5A.
Oh, Joe's in the Facebook chat. There you go.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Charles Deering say
Truman.
Dardanell's stuck in a tough 5A group. We'll talk
Oh
about that in
yeah.
a minute. You ain't wrong.
We're getting there to the 5A. 47 is Arkadelphia, Ashdown, Falk, Fountain Lake, Genoa Central, Hope, Malvern, Nashville. Falk, man, that's tough jumping. That's a
Yeah, it
big
is.
jump.
It's a
It's a
big
big
jump.
jump there
Man,
from
they must
three.
had a big jump in enrollment. My goodness.
Hope falling into the 4A7. Usually a 5A team, Hope is.
Yeah, that's a little strange.
But I know that Nashville's got to be ecstatic because they don't get moved to 5A. So
Yep.
they narrowly missed the cut there. And then 4A8, Crossett, DeWitt, or DeWitt, you got to say it right. Hamburg, Monticello, Star City, Stuttgart, Warren, and Watson Chapel. Helena, West Helena dropped out of there, and Watson Chapel dropped in. Harmony Grove and Bauxite are out of the 4A7. Hope and Falk are in. The 4A4, I don't guess I read that one, did I? Boonville, Dover, Lamar, Mena, Ozark, Pottsville, Subi, Waldron.
What I want to know is what happened to the 5A 5 or 4A 5 and 6. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7,
So
and 8.
they never do it. I don't know what the deal is there.
It's
Now
so weird.
in basketball there is a 4A5 and there is a 4A6, I believe.
Yeah, because
But
there's 8 full
well,
conferences.
there's only 48 teams in 4A. There's only 48 teams in 3A, and they got 6 conferences. So forever, these 7 and 8s have been 7 and 8s. I don't know what the rationale is behind that. I know there used to
There
be a three.
isn't any.
Well, there used to be a 3A6. I know that for a fact.
Hmm.
I don't remember there ever being a 4A6 um, in
Yeah, I
football.
mean, I don't
In football, anyway.
make it make sense.
I don't know. I don't know on that. So, anyway, looking at 5A real quick. You've got
Joe asked if Mississippi going to live them in. Yeah, they're going to be in the 4A4 with
yes,
Pottsville, Boonville, Oh, yeah, it's a another big jump up. I mean, they've been there before. They've been in our conference in the past. Uh,
Boonville's been, Boonville was a
yeah,
lifer for a
yeah,
long time in this conference. Um, you also got to remember something about these conferences. For these conferences have now they've changed. A lot of these teams play
so
each other
much.
year to year, like Dover and Ozark and Mena. I say Mina. Mina's kind of that drop in the seven sometimes, which a lot of
Yeah,
times they get bumped to the seven. This time they did not get bumped to the seven. But anyway, you just have these Berryville, Elkins, Gentry, Gravett. All those guys play each other forever. I mean, there is some movement in and out. But I guess what I'm saying is that these iterations of conferences, the 4A4 used to be the 3A4, and then at one point it was the 2A West. I mean
yeah,
that's been a while back,
yeah. That was goodness. I was
90s, like late 90s, early
I want to
2000s.
say because Pottsville made the jump to 3A. I want to say my senior year.
See, in the
Yeah,
3A,
we were 2A till '02.
yeah. Now was Pottsville in the conference with Atkins at any point
Yeah,
one time?
yeah. We were conference. We did district tournament at Atkins my senior
Okay,
year.
so
Basketball. We didn't play football.
right, in which it was different as far as that goes with basketball. Now we've got the basketball. Well, we got every conference. All that is different with everything but football. That used to not be
Yeah,
right. That used to be different there. So anyway, when you say, well, these teams have been together. I guess my whole point is with this Boonville used to be a team that played Ozark in the conference all the time. But for, I don't know, last 10 years now, they are more in that Charleston conference. They're moving up. I know that I've heard that they think that they're going to be up for one cycle and then they're going to be back down. So, and this happens a lot. You've got teams, Dardanelle's one of those teams that we're going
yeah,
to get to where they're kind of bouncing back and forth now between 5A and 4A. I personally wish that they would just eliminate 7A, let 7A be 6A, and let's do it like they do all the other sports.
yeah. That'd be nice.
I think that's a decent split. Maybe I'm wrong. Um,
Because there's just not enough 6A teams. There's not enough 7A teams, really.
yeah, I agree. But I also understand why they do that because those 7A teams have such an enrollment
My goodness.
advantage. I mean, you're talking about Bentonville has 3,000
Jeez.
from ninth to 11th, I believe.
We didn't have 3,000 people in Pottsville
Right.
when I was growing
We
up
got
at
several
all.
comments there, don't we?
Oh,
What we got?
Jamie Blacksand Sheridan should be 6A West, not East. And Dustin
Well,
Southern, what's up, dude? Glad for you. Join us, man. I've known Dustin for a
yeah.
lot of years. I said Darnell was in 2A late
Well,
80s. Yeah, they were.
they were in the 90s
Yeah,
too.
then they were 3A by the time we
But
played them.
again, the thing is, that 2A West. Here's the 2A West. A lot of times it was, and why I don't know why we're off on this, but you got Ozark, Dardanelle, Boonville. All of those were in the conference together. Waldron has always been in that conference. Mena has been back and forth in that conference. Let's see here. Who else in that conference? I don't see Dover used to be more toward Lamar was one that was
Yeah,
in that conference a lot.
Pottsville didn't play Lamar until
Subiaco,
my senior year.
Subiaco Academy is in that
Yep.
conference a lot. But anyway, all right, let's move on to the 5A real quick. New in 5A, you got Dardanelle, and this is the big one right here. The Greenwood Bulldogs are now a 5A
Which is
team.
insane.
Mills as well, which Greenwood now has spent a good portion of the last at least. Well, here's what I do know. The last time that Greenwood was in 5A, I lived in Huntsville, and I remember Greenwood coming to Huntsville, and they had this army with them. Now, Huntsville was in the 5A West at the time. They were up 31 to they were up 28 to nothing in the first quarter and had a missed field goal in that time. So that was 2012. I believe the 13-14 was when they moved into the 6A, and they've been in the 6A basically, I believe, that whole time
Yeah.
from that point forward. And then, of course, they're winning championships. Well, now they're in the 5A. Now, I will tell you, this is old school for me, but the 5A West, Greenwood, Alma, Harrison, and Morrilton, all of those teams used to play each other all the time.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of good rivalry there. Clarksville Dardanelle Clarksville was one of those teams that was in
Hmm.
that 2A West a long time with Dardanelle, Ozark, Boonville, all them. Well, now Clarksville has been trapped in the 5A now forever, and I don't think they're ever getting out.
Which is nuts
Right.
because they are not built for 5A football.
Pea Ridge and Farmington. I know that they would definitely be up for what?
Joe said DeQueen all the way to Pine Bluff. Man, I'm glad I've graduated.
Right, right. Um, I'm sure that Clarksville would definitely want that draw up where you got 6A only because Clarksville then would be a 4A football team. What we got?
Andrew Hawthorne asked if anybody else coming to the 4A. Yes, Hope, Boonville, Mayflower, Falk, Subiaco Academy, and Watson Chapel. They all joined the 4A. Cave City, Dardanelle, Hall, Mills, Riverview,
Yeah.
and Helena West, Helena Central. They are all out of the 4A.
Um,
Got another one too. Wait, don't go to the right page. Eric Carter said, "Why does private schools get to recruit? Because that seems a disadvantage over public schools."
okay, let me just time out right
Hmm.
now. Listen, that's out.
Yeah,
People can say whatever they want to say. And listen, I'm a public school guy. I've been public school my whole life, and I hope that somebody will clip this. But everybody recruits now.
yeah,
If they don't, they should. I'm just saying because at this point you've got school choice, all that stuff, and I know that I am not advocating for it. I'm not advocating for people to break the rules. All I'm saying is when you start talking about recruiting, everybody does it.
yeah.
I mean, the transferring is what it is at this point. You can go to school wherever you want to go to school. And I don't know the exact rules on it because I know they change from time to time, year to year. All I'm saying is there's no difference, in my opinion, between private schools and public schools when it comes to that. Here is the difference. And this is a conversation, and I'm not getting into it. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not getting into it because it's a deep, it's a heavy conversation, but
Mhm.
it's real. It's a socioeconomic deal,
Yep, show
and
is.
that just is what it is. I mean, I don't have any other way to say it. It just is what it is. There's a socioeconomic difference with some of those kids that go to school there, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. What I mean, really, what can you do about it? There's nothing you can do. But when it comes to recruiting, who I mean, you don't if you don't do it, then you're probably losing. I mean, look at the schools in Little Rock and how those kids jump from place to place. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it just is what it is.
I mean, TJ Hodges is too bright. I ain't saying he got recruited, but I'm not saying he did
Well,
neither.
here's the thing is that when you can go to a school however you want to go, and again, I don't know the exact rules. I'd have to look them up.
Hmm.
How can you stop it?
Can't.
You can't stop it. You can't stop. So when it comes to that anymore, I don't think the private schools have that much of an advantage.
I,
I do think that they have an advantage of private training. I think they have the advantage of speed training and different things of that nature. I do believe that.
I do also think that it's a good in a sense because you got a lot of kids that go to camps together all
Yeah.
summers and everything, and why shouldn't a kid get to play with his buddies?
Yeah.
Why the heck not? It's I mean, I,
Man, it's
you know
just
me, I'm a homer for Pottsville. I want Pottsville kids to go to Pottsville. I mean, that's just me. But I would love to have Mr. Skolarski from Ozark on our football team. I ain't gonna sit here and lie and say it's not the truth. It'd be awesome because he's a good kid and he's friends with kids from
well, I'm
Pottsville.
sure that Josh Watson preaches he appreciates that. Anyway,
Sorry, Coach.
listen,
I like you too, buddy, but
Coach Watson, don't call me. Call Justin on that one. I'm not
sorry.
anyway, with all that said, I'm just saying that's just where we're at. I
Yeah.
mean, it just I if I could solve the issue, it's just kind of like NIL in college. If I could solve that issue, I would tell you exactly what to do, but I can't. I don't know what the
Oh, they just need to let Nick Saban solve that issue. He has a pretty good idea, in my
they
opinion.
they need a commissioner.
Yeah, it needs to be Nick Saban, the first one at least,
But
to get the ball rolling.
anyway, that's a whole different topic for a whole different
It is.
conversation. All right. So in 5A, Dardanelle, Greenwood, Mills in, Hope, Watson, Chapel, and Searcy out. Searcy goes up. That's a tough deal right there
Yeah,
for
it
them.
is.
Although I think they can be competitive. We'll talk about them in a minute. Looking at the East, it's the same as 24-26. Central You've got Pine Bluff, Searcy, Watson Chapel, and Whitehall are all out. Greenbrier, Parkview, Mills, and Valonia are all in. In the south, Hope is and Parkview are out. Pine Bluff, Whitehall are in. And the west, Greenbrier and Valonia are out. Greenwood and Dardanelle are in. And then your east looks like this. Again, same. Batesville, Brooklyn, Greene County Tech, Harding Academy, Nettleton, Paragould, Valley View, and Wynn. Now let me throw this at you as well. And again, I am not sitting here advocating for private schools by any means.
Mm.
But let me tell you, with the new rules as well, Harding Academy has made the playoffs, but they're not dominant at all.
Mm-hmm.
They were dominant on the 2A, 3A level. Well, unless they can find a way to have two consecutive losing seasons in their conference, then they're not going to drop. They're going to stay in it, just like Pulaski Academy right now in 7A. They haven't had a great run in 7A, at
Nope.
least last year, or this last year especially. So they have to stay in 7A because they haven't had two consecutive losing seasons in conference. Just a thought. Anyway, Central,
And how does Clarksville keep staying in the 4A? Haven't they?
well, it's only private schools.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
only
right. That's
now
right.
that's another thing that I feel like you might need to look at is the competitive equity on them all, which would
Yeah.
it would that would really you want to talk about movement. There'd be a lot of movement.
Clarksville needs to be in the 4A. They really do, in my
Well,
personal
like I
opinion.
said, I like the model of the 6A model. I like it. I like it.
Are we doing 5A?
No, I just got a message here, and I don't know. Mansfield is going to the 4A1. That's not what's showing here, unless something has changed. Maybe you can tell me. Alan's the one that texts me that. Um,
Parkview going to the central makes way more sense than them being in the south. Joe also asks, is it too
yeah,
early to name Greenwood the 26 5A
right,
champs?
right. Yeah, I mean that's something right there. Let's look here. Now, by the way, if that's true, what he just told me, which it's not here, so I do know that there are always a few adjustments here and there when it comes to this. I know that there are challenges usually. I don't know if they've gotten through all that process. I guess we should have just called Bobby Swafford and just had him on and he could tell us a little bit more about everything. Anyway, let's go. Let me get through the 5A here. Central is BB, Greenbrier, Jacksonville, Little Rock, Parkview, Maumelle, Mills, Robinson, and Valonia. So you got Robinson and Parkview. And I'm going to tell you right now, Jacksonville coming. They're coming for sure. Greenbrier is always a very, very well coached program. That's a
Uh,
tough conference.
Adam saying y'all's maps are a great visual aid for this. Wish we could take credit.
Right.
This came from the AAA,
Exactly.
so we're just
Again,
putting what they posted.
they're doing more
Yeah,
rationale
yeah. It's
than
all
I've
them.
ever seen them do. I'm gonna give them a lot of credit there,
Yeah,
but I mean it, man.
it's a good graphic.
It is easy to take shots. It's easy to take shots at people. We get it.
Mm-hmm.
We get it. Oh, I saw somebody say, "Hey, they're only a Central Arkansas deal. They're not a." Where does that even come from?
Central Arkansas. I was in Fordyce 2 weeks in a row, bud. we
That's what I'm saying.
were in
So
Salem.
here's the whole point behind what I'm saying is you can take shots at everybody, and it seems like that the whole well, it feels like anybody that's in authority anymore, they can be criticized. But the thing is usually criticism never has any answers. You know,
Oh, I
it's
got
it's
answers.
it's one thing to criticize; it's another thing to have actual answers there. So, anyway, let's look here in the South. You got Arkansas High, Camden, Fairview, DeQueen, Hot Springs Lakeside, Magnolia, Pine Bluff, and Whitehall.
That's a tough conference.
Well, to me, if you look at that, that's not as tough as it was before when you had Parkview in it. That added to a
Oh
lot.
yeah, I
I
forgot
mean,
they're not there.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're not. That Central is tough, real tough. Not to say that South isn't, but that Central seems to be the tougher one now. Alma, Clarksville, Dardanelle, Farmington, Greenwood, Harrison, Morrilton, and Pea Ridge are in the West. Now, let's move to 6A. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine in the 6A because Russellville is looking for a new coach now. And I said, this is a time for Russellville to make a move. And here is why. because in the West, North, let's see here. Um, in the West, you've got New in 6A, Little Rock Southwest, and Searcy are in. Greenwood and Shiloh Christian are out. So in the West, Greenwood and Shiloh Christian, the two teams that played for the last two state championships, they're
Yeah.
gone. And you get Little Rock Southwest in the West. And let's talk about the West right now.
Adam Archer's saying too many teams in the 5A, too little in the 6A. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's something to that. But, well, again, if you go to the model of 6A only, 6A becomes 7A, or 7A becomes 6A. And then you start with the 6A becoming 5A, but instead of 6A being 16, it becomes 32. And so you got 32 teams in the 5A, and then you've got your 48 and 4, your 48 and 3. And to me, it works out. But I don't know about the number at the bottom and where they're at with that. So, anyway, in the 6A West, you got Southside, Lake Hamilton, Catholic, Southwest, Mountain Home, Russellville, Siloam Springs, and Van Buren. It looks a lot different without Greenwood and Shiloh in it.
Yeah,
Adam,
it
by the
does.
way, Adam Archer is Kane's dad. By the way,
Oh,
didn't
oh,
know that.
what's up, man? Glad to have you.
And then you got East. You got Benton, El Dorado, Jonesboro, Marion, Searcy, Sheridan, Sylvan Hills, and West Memphis. Now, somebody said that Sheridan should be in the West. Let's look at that map here. Let me get that pulled up real quick so I can see it. Um, I could see an argument there. I mean, if there's one argument as far as just where they lie, that one right there, you see it right here,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
It's just it's weird on the map. I
I
see
mean,
that.
you could make an argument. Now, you've got four teams in there that you could split up in either way, and I assume that is Valonia, BB, Greenbrier, and Sheridan. Or is that no? That's Sheridan. Who is that? Who is that? That's Southwest.
Oh yeah,
So Sheridan is actually below it. It is right in between Pine Bluff and Hot Springs. So I don't see the argument there with Sheridan, but what I do see the argument is you could somehow. No, that is not Southwest. Who is that? Let me look at my. Is that Hamilton? Let me see here. No, no, it's not. Hamilton's over here. That is east. Let me look at.
that's
Oh, it's
Benton.
Benton. Yeah. So you could see Benton in the west. Now that one right there might be a competitive equity deal there. I mean, where you
Yeah.
keep Benton in the east because if you throw Benton in the west, then it probably throws the balance off. I would say right now, looking at that, that's about as even.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at the west and say the west is stronger than the east or vice versa. I feel like it's pretty kind of leveled out. What do you think?
Yeah. There's to me the West. It seems pretty balanced out. I mean, both sides seem you know as about as good as they could possibly make them.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, like I said, just to keep it even because Benton goes to the West, that changes everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's
I feel like that if you're talking about one time where they took the geography out of it, I think that might be it.
yeah.
I think that might be it right there.
So I'm looking forward to Benton Sylvan Hills next year. That'd be a good matchup.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mountain Home's been a good program. They probably benefit as much from Shiloh going out and Greenwood going out as
Hmm.
anybody. I don't know what their classification situation looks like. Again, a team like Russellville right now has a chance to make a better move. I think.
Yeah,
Um, you
they
know,
need to make a good coaching
yeah,
move.
Siloam has got an opening. Russellville's got an opening. Little Rock Southwest has got an opening. Catholic is another team that could benefit. Again, just looking at these are very balanced now without Shiloh and Greenwood in it. Adam, you guys have just tore the league up, man. I'm just telling you, they just tore it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just did too much, man.
Let's move on to 7A real quick. And the 7A north side is out, Shiloh is in. And again, with these private schools, they don't just drop out. Like if they don't make the playoffs, they have to have two consecutive losing seasons to be able to drop. and
Well, that part of that map doesn't look that great.
yeah, but you know the reason why. In
Yeah.
fact, let me count this real quick. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah, there's eight. I thought there
What
might
the
be nine.
frogs?
One, two, three, four, six, seven. So is there only 15 in the 7A now instead of 16? Is that what I'm counting?
I
One,
think
two,
so.
three, four, five, six, seven, eight. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Now eight. 16. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, Portsmouth Northside,
That's an odd man out.
they
Good
have
Lord.
experienced this now for years, where they've been bumped to the Central because of Northwest Arkansas schools. You know, you've got that cluster up there. You know,
That sucks.
Zach Zach Orange here. I gotta kind of get around that map there. Zach Arns talked about that, where he talked about not having to leave Springdale now on like 1 year to the
Yeah,
next. He may not have to leave Springdale but three times out of that whole situation. Of course, even when he leaves Springdale, he's only going to drive about 15 miles one way or the other. You know,
lucky son of a gun.
as far as conference goes.
Yeah,
Anyway, but that is looking at the West here in the 7A. You got Bryant, Cabot, Conway. I'm sorry, wrong way. Bentonville West, Fayetteville, Rogers Heritage, Shiloh Christian, Springdale, and Springdale Harbor. I mean, in my life, I would have never thought that Shiloh would be in the 7A West.
holy crap.
What?
I- I'm Carthy Christian. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that, buddy.
Yeah.
Watching from Mumbai, India.
Wow.
That's spectacular. Thanks for tuning in, dude.
Holy cow. Um, in the Central, you got Bryant, Cabot, Conway, Northside, Central, Christian, North Little Rock, and Pulaski Academy, and that rounds out the 7A. And again, these Little Rock Christian, Pulaski Academy, Shiloh Christian, you know, the competitive equity, you don't just drop
No,
anymore. And so Shiloh, you know, probably in that conference to stay for a while. You know, again, Pulaski Academy, I don't know where they're at as far as their roster breakdown and all that stuff. You know, one of the things about moving to 7A, I think, versus even 6A is the fact of the size that you have to deal with.
yes,
I mean,
my soul.
your size is like the lines are more like D2 lines. I mean, they're huge.
Some of them Bryant boys, they could be
Oh,
D1.
well, yeah. I mean, there are some that are D1 size, but I mean, really, when
All
you
of them are at least D2. Not a
what
single one are below that
I'm
level.
talking about across the board. If you looked at a line like at Bryant, you could say that those guys are as big as D2 lines.
Yeah,
So anyway, speaking
freaking
of that,
monsters.
by the way, D2, I will be at the D2 National Championship with Harding and Ferris State. I will be there covering it, and so make sure that you're hanging out here, and let's see if Harding can pull one out and win their second national championship in the last three seasons, which would be spectacular.
Yeah, it
So
would
I'll
be.
be in McKinney, Texas, on Saturday. So
I'll be in Heber Springs doing basketball games.
anyway,
Yay for me.
what do we got? Somebody asking where to find all that.
Yeah, yeah.
We've got. I've actually got it linked on our
Got
Facebook page. If you want to
Denny
go.
Denny Bland saying, I believe in the 28, 28, 32, 32, 32 format. Whew.
So, Danny, I don't even know what the 28, 28, 30.
It's
I mean, I
five,
know.
five conferences.
Yeah, I see that, but I
That'd be
don't know.
brutal.
I guess you just take your top 28. I wonder what that would look like if you had 20. So, just because we got to wrap this thing up, that would be 16 there, and then your next 12 in the 6A would be swallowed up by what would be, I guess it would be 5A, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be 5A. And so then your 4A would be in the next 32, which would be your next four out of the
And no,
6A.
knowing my luck, Pottsville would be stuck in the 4A still.
And then
No respite.
your next 24 in the 5A, and then that would leave your next 8 in the 5A to be 3A at that point.
Jeez.
So, which hey, look, it used to be that way.
I know.
It used to be that way. They would get five classes.
Arkansas was sans less a million people though.
I mean, that is true. I think there's something to be said about the ability to get them split up. I would say six is probably a good number. In which, I mean, essentially you have that. You've got 8 man as well. That makes it the seventh classification.
We got to roll.
So
We got to go get
anyway,
our kids.
right. Anyway, we want to say thanks for coming in on us here. I mean,
Yeah,
this
it's
was
awesome.
kind of
Appreciate it.
a impromptu deal
He called me at noon.
um, because they came out with the numbers or the
Yeah. Oh
conferences.
yeah.
We wanted to talk about that. We'll I don't know what the other classifications look like. Have they even released that real quick
No,
as
no, it
far
won't be released till after the end of the seasons.
basketball and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff
that's what
goes?
it said.
Okay, gotcha. Well, anyway, just we do appreciate you for joining us here, and we'll be back probably next week early before Christmas, and then we've got D3 Auto Sales MVP list out right now, coaches list out. Here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to allow you to vote. You're going to be a part of the vote, so a fan vote will be a part of what we do.
Yep.
Along with our own votes that we have, I'm not going to let the fans decide it.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't want to do that. So we're going to allow everybody to vote on each one of those, except for probably the Metcalf one, which is a
Yeah.
regional award, which we're going to get those lists out pretty quick. We still have newcomer of the year to list. We've got the Metcalf one to list. Let me think here. I'm trying to think what we got. Blue collar,
Yeah, blue collar award.
blue collar award as well. We're going to get
That's the
all of
team
those.
award, right?
No,
Or wait, oh, the blue collar player of the
yeah,
year, sorry.
and then we'll probably put something out for team of the year. Um, but
Line of the year, we got that.
offensive
Yeah,
line,
the big
yes.
uglies.
Yeah,
Gonna go eat with them.
yeah, we
We
got that as well. So
uh
got
and
a lot.
you can tune in with me for Pottsville basketball tomorrow night from Heber Springs and Saturday morning from Heber Springs as well. I got 4 games to do.
Yeah. By the way, just to go ahead and put that out there on Sunday night. Let me look here. December the
21st.
28th.
Oh, 28th.
That's when our award show will be. We will
Oh,
do Sunday night, December the 28th. We'll announce our awards and we'll announce our D3 MVP and all the way through. We'll do all that. Offensive line of the year, all that. We'll do all that on Sunday, December the
you
28th,
will. I'll be gone.
right between Christmas and New Year's.
I'll be in
So
Magnolia. All right. We'll get out of your hair, folks.
I don't have much. We'll see you later. Thanks.